a solid appetizer for the feast that is week one. Um, yeah, so let's not waste any time. Let's dig into it. First game of the season takes place in Dublin, Ireland. It's Farmageddon, people. Iowa State versus Kansas State in Dublin. Line on this game is K State -3. Game total at 50.5. Okay, so this is actually we're probably starting off with one of the hardest games in the slate to cap. Simply because these teams have kind of turned over their rosters a little bit. K State not quite as much as Iowa State, but there's enough roster turnover that it makes it kind of questionable. Just breaking this one down, we've got K State returning Heisman hopeful Avery Johnson at quarterback. He leads a fairly solid K State offense. They added a couple weapons for the transfer portal. Then they're going to have a solid ground game with the dual threat of Avery Johnson. The defensive side, that's where K-State has the bigger advantage. They return a fair bit on their defense. Their safeties are solid. Their linebackers are solid. I don't know about the D-line, but I know the back seven is especially solid. It's the front four that there may be a couple weak spots that Iowa State could target, but it's not. It's a solid defense from top to bottom. Um, Iowa State, on the other hand, they return junior quarterback Rocco Becht. I believe this is his third year with the program, second year as a starter. Um, and they also return a couple other pieces from their backfield. They've got a solid running game. They always seem to have running backs at Iowa State, and this year is no different. Defensively, Iowa State's a bit of a mystery. They lost a fair bit. They've got a couple gaps. They also lost a fair bit when it comes to the passing game. They had a couple of receivers, graduate out and are actually playing in the NFL now. Uh, that being said, I like Iowa State plus the 3. This is all the opening game has always been a dog game, and I feel like this one isn't going to be any different. If you can find a 3.5, I'd recommend taking that. I feel better at 3.5. I'm okay with the 3, and I would sprinkle the money line for Iowa State. These games are just weird. It's the weird travel, the weird field. It's just there's always a lot of weird. Like each of the past few years, it's always other than I think Notre Dame just destroying Navy. It always seems like it's the dog comes up and bites the heavy the favorite. So I'm gonna ride with Iowa State. Um, I, I think they have a bit of a coaching advantage. I know Matt Campbell has owned Chris Kleiman over the past few years. I know Chris Kleiman's had the entire offseason to think about how we can beat Matt Campbell, but I just think when a guy's got your number, he's kind of got your number. So I'm going to ride with Iowa State. Give me plus the 3. I'll sprinkle the money line. I'm not going to touch the total in this one because I could see this being a classic, like 17-13 Big 12 game, or I could see it being an absolute shootout and with nothing in between. I'm going to stay away from the total on this one. It's the first game, so you have to bet it. But I'm not gonna go super deep on this one. I'm just gonna just maybe I'll do like maybe half a unit on the points, maybe a little sprinkle on the money line, just to get the juices flowing, just to get some action early on in the slate. All right.